He is a true warrior.
मूड में तो होना चाहिए ना, बाकी सब दवाई के लिए पैसा देना पड़ता है. Sunday I was in the ICU. There were 5 chemotherapies which I had to undergo. I did not know whether I would live or not. If I die, it's okay, but I'm going to fight. पूरा टूट चुका था मैं. What is the lesson that we are taking from this? भारत would lead and the world would follow. जीना सीखो, हंसना सीखो और दूसरों को हंसाना सीखो. रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Mehul Shah show Baton Hi Baton Mein. Wishing everyone a happy Independence Day. Today I have a very special guest of honor on my talk show. He is a true warrior, survivor of two cancer, heart attacks and COVID. He feels his entire earnings should go to support NGO, medical needs, medicines, and other people. Yes, it's my immense pleasure to invite a very special guest of honor on Mehul Shah Show Bato Hi Bato Mein on Independence Day special episode, that is Mr. Suresh Bhatt sir from Mumbai. So hi sir, welcome to
नमस्ते.
my show. It's an honor to have you.
मेहुल, मेरा बच्चा है तो
थैंक यू सर, आप आज अच्छे एकदम मूड में है. लाइक
मूड में तो होना चाहिए ना.
या लाफ्टर
See,
द
क्या होता है कि
बेस्ट
laughter
मेडिसिन.
is the best medicine and
करेक्ट.
laughter is the only medicine which can cure you free of cost. बाकी सब दवाई के लिए पैसा देना पड़ता है ना. बट ये दवाई के लिए तो पैसा तो बिल्कुल नहीं लगता है. एंड द मोर यू लाफ, द मोर यू स्माइल, the more positive you become, the more receptive you become. People want to speak to you because you are a very positive person, you are a very smiling person. And that's what is very, very important. When we talk about diseases, we talk about, suffering. I think the best things that we can really talk about is, smiling and laughing. Yeah.
ग्रेट सर,
Yeah.
थैंक्स फॉर शेयरिंग. ओके, तो सर लाइक हाउ डिड यू डिस्कवर टू गेट डायग्नोस्ड विथ कैंसर?
This happened in 2011 when I was actually losing a lot of weight. Somewhere in 2011 November, I started to lose weight. Then I went to a lot of doctors. I had done my colonoscopy, which was done, and even then it was not detected. But in the month of 2012 Jan, okay, it was I had lost around 12 kgs of weight,
ओह.
and that's a tremendous amount of weight loss. So there was a little bit of concern, and it was my friend who was in Sion Hospital, my very, very close friend of mine, Dr. Naren Naik, whom I went to meet with all my reports. And when he looked at me, he said, Suresh, I think you need to get a CT scan done, and it is to be done immediately. So I went the next day, got the CT done, and in the evening, when the report came, there was this detection of tumor which was there. And I came with the reports to Naren, and Naren, in fact, just checked the report and he said, Suresh, you'll have to get a surgery done. So that's when I actually came to know that I had this colon cancer.
ओह.
Yeah.
ओके. ओके, तो सर लाइक what treatment and precaution you took during your journey of recovery?
Yeah, so the surgery was, in fact, what happened was, since after it was discovered, I think it was on Tuesday, and there was my uncle who was there. So he checked the reports and he immediately spoke to Lilavati Hospital. He got the bookings done. So I was admitted on Wednesday. Thursday, I was resting. So, Friday, all the tests were done for the surgery to take place. And Saturday, my surgery was done. It happened so fast. Within a span of around 4 days, the entire surgery had happened. And Sunday, I was in the ICU, and for almost a week, then it was a recovery phase for me there. So, but I did feel a loss of a part of my body, which is around 1 feet of my intestine. I have lost. So, but the thing is, you have to be, ready for it, okay? Because that whatever is to be removed has to be removed, okay? So you can't do anything about it. but then you have to accept it and you have to move on in life. So that's what I started to realize. And of course, after that surgery and all, I had to undergo some chemotherapies. I underwent some around 5 chemotherapies over a period of 45. Every 25 days, I suppose, I had to undergo one chemo. So there were 5 chemotherapies which I had to undergo, and then it was a complete Ayurvedic treatment that was almost for 4.5 years. I was undergoing some Ayurvedic treatment, and most important was the diet part. I was a bit careful. Now I'm a little bit careless in my diet, but then at that point of time, yes, I was very, very careful with my diet, and most important is to be happy, always smiling. So that is what really keeps me going even today. Okay, I have to tell you the fact that having fun in life. Okay, live your life to the fullest. That's what I want to tell you guys. Because what happens is when you're happy, your body is kind of receptive to positive energies. So which is a plus point for us. And I started to realize this, and it's still going on. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, sir. Okay, so sir, like, what were the biggest challenge you faced during this very tough time?
हाँ, challenges ये था कि पहली बात तो है कि the word cancer itself is a very kind of scary word. Okay, and जब मुझे पता चला कि I have that disease, so I was actually totally heartbroken. In fact, I was totally down. I went into a sort of a depression kind of thing. And there was this incident which happened, very interesting incident है ये. जैसे गणपति बप्पा अपने को कैसे मोटिवेट करते हैं. So I was in a temple one day, and my wife's friend phone came from Singapore. So she said, "कैसा है तू? ठीक है ना? Everything will be okay. Don't worry." And I started to cry because that word itself was so dangerous that wanted to. I did not know whether I would live or not. Okay, so that was the thing what was actually going on in my mind. And then there was an idol of Ganesha in front of me. Okay, and I started staring at that idol, and I was still crying. And I said, somewhere I started to think, that Ganesha was born with a full human body and a human head, and there was a battle between Shiva and Ganpati where he threw his trident, and his head was severed from his body, and they said that you cannot fit the human head again. So that elephant's head was brought, and it was fitted onto his body. And that's when I started to think, this God also is not spared of pain. Okay, and his imagine the kind of trauma and the kind of pain that this God must have gone through. And that's where the entire thing changed in my life. And I started to think, boss, if you have taught me certain thing today, I think I will take it as a good lesson. That's where I started to, you know, turn the things around. I said, no, I'm going to fight my disease. If I die, it's okay, but I'm going to fight. Okay, I'm not going to give up. So that's where the things started to change, and I went through this entire process of surgery and chemotherapies with a lot of courage. I started to think of Lord Ganesha. I started to think of Lord Shiva. I'm still a very, very ardent follower of Lord Shiva because my Mahamrityunjay mantra, which I listen to every day morning, Om Trembakam Yajamaya Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamev Bandhanam Mrityu Mokshi Yamamrita. It's a very powerful mantra, and I worship the entire family. I would say that I've got a beautiful celestial family. Lord Shiva, I say Parvati Amma or Ma, Parvati Ma, Ganesha and Kartikeya. They're all part of me, at this point of time. And that's what is really, really keeping me going, even at this point when I'm almost 14 years plus from that journey where I started to fight. I think that's a blessing. I have a lot of blessings on my head, so I'm very lucky in that matter. Yeah.
Great, sir. Sir, what to say? Because your entire journey is like really कुछ सीख सकते हम कि भाई भगवान पे भरोसा रखो, खुद पे विश्वास रखो, प्रॉपर मेडिसिन लो, तो आई गेस वी कैन लाइक क्योर दिस कैंसर वेरी easily.
See, medicines are only part of your, what is it, controlling process. Okay,
Correct.
but controlling and healing process.
Hmm.
Okay, it cannot totally heal you. If any medical company is saying that my medicine is going to work 100% on you, I don't think so. There has to be certain willpower from you
Correct.
from the inside.
Yes.
There has to be some devotional blessing on you from the outside. So it's all a kind of a package where all these things have to work for you. Okay, you cannot say that मैं सिर्फ दवा खाने से ही ठीक हो जाता है. No, नहीं होता है ऐसा.
Right.
Okay, it is never like that. So it has to be a combination of a lot of things. And one thing which I want to tell everybody here is I've got an SIP. It's not a systematic investment plan. Okay, it's a balance of your spiritual, your intellectual, and your physical content. Okay, you have to have some kind of a spiritual connection with God on an everyday basis. You have to have your intellectual thing in place where you're learning, you're understanding, you're innovating, you're creating, you're doing a lot of things. Because we humans are very, very lucky that we have got a brain which thinks, we have got a mouth which speaks, we have got a nose which smells, and
Smells.
we got a beautiful 2 ears which can hear a lot of things. So we are very, very lucky in that matter. So if you balance your intellectual, okay, you have to read a lot of things every day and try to grasp, and maybe you could even understand from observations also. That's also very important, very, very important.
True.
You have beautiful eyes which God has given us. So I think that's very important. So that's the intellectual part. Physical part, yes. In fact, it applies to me also. You will see a big tummy, which is there. But then I still feel that no, and I have to reduce around 20 kgs. The physical part is going to start very, very soon, because every time I did something which I wanted to. In fact, there was a time when I started playing basketball. I happily lost around 7 kgs of weight. But what happened at that point of time is I was eating a lot of salads with salt. So my blood pressure shot up, and then I had to discontinue. Then I started to do it again. I started to go for walks. Again, there was a knee problem. So there was some of the other problem, which was every time I took something up, there was some problem which would occur. And I think now it's time that I really, really think about it. And now I should forget the pain part and concentrate on the weight loss part. Okay, so I really need to lose my weight, and I think now I've consciously taken a decision that I've not kept a target for myself that it's going to be 2026 Jan. No, that's a very, very wrong concept. Go at your pace, your age, okay, your age, your pace, your resilience, your the kind of grit that you want to really have in you. You go at your pace and you start to lose weight. Don't go looking at someone. Okay, I think this athlete, okay, is running like at 9.7 seconds, 100 meters. No, it's not possible, not humanly possible. So you have to maintain your pace and you have to lose weight. So I always am saying this, that have an SIP, a spiritual, an intellectual, and a physical part in your life. A combination of that. Okay, it's not just you can separate anything out of this. All the three are the part of your daily activities. I think that's very, very important to understand. Yeah.
Great, sir. Thanks for sharing. Okay, sir. So, like, how was your reaction when you know that like you are diagnosed with the cancer? आपका क्या reaction था? First reaction.
Reaction तो पूरा टूट चुका था मैं. I was totally broken now. And
And sir, secondly, after this reaction, after a couple of days, what suddenly made you think that कि boss I have to fight with the cancer?
गणपति
वो आपका
बप्पा
क्या एक है स्टोरी? जस्ट थोड़ा शेयर करेंगे
गणपति
शॉर्ट
बप्पा
स्टोरी.
मोरिया तो वही था, मैंने बताया कि
करेक्ट.
गणपति का जो इंसिडेंट हुआ था, कि बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द एंटायर पर्सपेक्टिव, एंड टुडे आई एम सेइंग, I'm asking you guys, we humans are always cribbing and crying about certain things in our life, right? So मेरे को तकलीफ है यार, मेरे को दुख है यार, मेरे को ये सब है, मेरे को वो सब है. But tell me one thing.
True.
I'm saying that Ganpati Bappa, we say, so he's got a elephant's head. Okay, have we ever seen him? Have you ever seen him cry? Okay, I want to ask you. I don't think so. He's always smiling. Okay, what is the lesson that we are taking from this? Okay, he says that in spite of my whatever structure, okay, I'm carrying an elephant's head on my body, but still I'm always smiling. Okay, so that's what we got to understand and we got to implement in our lives, that Life should be simple. Life should be, kind of satisfying, and life should be full of happiness. Life should be full of gratitude. Okay, and life should be full of energy. You have fun. He says you have fun, boss. You smile the way I smile. You laugh the way I laugh. That's what he's trying to tell us. But how many of us actually understand this? How many of us? Okay. So we really need to understand. We need to take lessons from our gods. I think they are the most wonderful things we have. I mean, they're the most wonderful celestial
True.
gods that we have in our life. Okay, so we need to take lessons from them. Shiva is what? He's wears a tiger skin. Okay, very very simple life, an Asiatic life. He's always meditating. He's always in his kind of own world. But then you see the way he really does things. Okay, there are so many things that he has done. He's drunk poison. Okay, he's held it in his throat. Okay, which god will have the guts to do that? Okay, if we talk of Vishnu, so many avatars that he has taken, and the most beautiful things have happened. So we have so much of rich culture and history that we have, in our Bharat. I don't say India because I always say that we are from Bharat. Okay, Bharatam Vishwagurum. I always say this that we are all Vishwagurus. India will lead, and the world. I would say Bharat would lead, and the world would follow.
True, sir.
Okay.
Sir, in my introduction, I told that like you are a cancer survivor, COVID survivor, heart attack survivor. So, sir, as you are like aware, this same thing have been suffered by our audience. There are like too many people. So, as you are a live example, you have fought and you came out. So, can you share some simple message like how we
Like,
can like come out of all this
see,
disease?
like I said, that you have to balance your spiritual, intellectual, and your physical content. Okay, if you're not going to exercise daily, don't expect that you'll have a long life. Okay, if you're not going to read daily, don't expect that your brain is going to evolve. If you're not going to spiritually connect with the divine, okay, don't expect that you'll be de-stressing yourself, or the kind of things that you can really be happy about in your life. Okay, so these things are very very important as far as your human context is concerned. Okay, you got to understand these things in a very very deep way. Okay, and implement it in your life. That's what I'm saying. And always be happy, always be smiling. If you don't earn the kind of money that the most billionaires are having, so what? Okay, if you don't have maybe a Ferrari, or if you don't have a Rolls Royce, okay, what does it matter? You're not going to take the Rolls Royce with you when you're not in this world, boss. So be happy with what you have, be contented with what you have, laugh, smile. Okay, make people smile, make people laugh. You see the kind of
Comfort.
reactions you get when you smile at people. Okay, you will see that the kind of warmth, the kind of the happiness content, or the happiness perspective that we see. Okay, it will elevate you at a different level. Okay, in fact, I'll tell you one incident which happened, where the sense of humor, I do a lot of things like this. So I went to one chiku seller. There was a customer standing next to me. I said, "Gora chiku kitna or kala chiku kitna?" You should have seen the expression that chiku wala gave me. Okay, now which is a black one, which is a white one. So even the customer was looking. So I said, "जो थोड़ा सा हल्का कलर चेंज है वो गोरा है, जो एकदम काला वाला है वो काला है." तो ऐसे करके these are things which, see, the small anecdotes, okay, which we can think of, little bit of spice and little bit of humor, that you can really bring out. I do a lot of mischief. Okay, as I'm growing older, I'm going to be more and more mischievous.
Great,
Okay,
sir.
so that's the way my life is going to be. So you have to be mischievous in your life. Masti karo yaar, kya hai? What is it? है ना?
Great, sir. Great. Thank you, sir. And like last question before we close. So like apart from like all this, we had a discussion. You are like a singer.
Hmm.
You can do some mimicry of few of the names
Hmm.
celebrities.
Hmm.
So can you just sir make us laugh on this very critical topic? थोड़ा कुछ आप शेयर कर चाहिए आपका सिंगिंग का एक सॉन्ग या किसी का
मैं
एक्टिंग?
थोड़ा सा एक मिमिक्री करूंगा। मेहुल, अरे कितनी बार तुमसे मैंने कहा, अरे पॉडकास्ट करो, पॉडकास्ट करो, मैं बूढ़ा हो चला, अरे तू अब ले रहा है. हाँ.
Great, sir. And sir, one song, any
सॉन्ग,
song,
हाँ
any
सॉन्ग.
song.
एक गाना में मेरा काफी सारा किशोर दा का फेवरेट गाना. किशोर इज एनीवे माय फेवरेट सिंगर. आर डी बर्मन इज माय फेवरेट म्यूजिशियन. एक गाना है जो मुझे बहुत इंस्पायर करता है. विनोद खन्ना इज वन ऑफ माय फेवरेट हीरोज, वेरी हैंडसम हीरो. उसका एक इम्तिहान करके एक मूवी था, उसमें एक किशोर दा ने गाना गाया था. रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के, कांटों पे चल के मिलेंगे साए बहार के. ओ राही ओ राही, ओ राही ओ राही, रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के. सो दिस इज माय मैसेज टू यू गाइस कि जिंदगी में हार जीत तो होती रहती है, बट जो हार गया वो जैसे गब्बर सिंह बोलता है वो मर गया.
Correct.
ओके, तो
True.
जीना सीखो, हंसना सीखो और दूसरों को हंसाना सीखो. दैट इज व्हाट इज रियली रिक्वायर्ड इन टुडेज डे. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your valuable time and very good message you had shared to the audience on this all this disease part.
थैंक यू.
तो गाइस ये थे हमारे आज के गेस्ट मिस्टर सुरेश बट ऑन अ वेरी स्पेशल एपिसोड. सो लेट्स कनेक्ट विथ हिम एंड लेट्स टेक गाइडेंस हाउ वी कैन बी care about all this disease. So this is Mehul Shah signing off for today. Wait for my next episode. Thank you. And one more thing. Now we are coming up with one more next episode with Sir on something special. So stay tuned. Thank you so much.